Hi there, Chris Fox here. I'm gonna put this crankshaft in today, and yeah. So what we got to do is I've already pulled the. I've cleaned the crank. Okay, all the oil galleries and everything are clean. But what we need to do is put the plugs back in, like here. Okay, and that's the 45-degree angles all the way through from this boss to this boss, all the way through. So we've cleaned that all up. And we're going to put the plug in like that plug is right there. Okay, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but you got to make sure they're in, and you got to make sure they're in properly, because if you don't want one of those plugs falling out with the crankshaft and then that ending up in the bottom of the oil pan and you lose all your oil pressure. And that would be a bad day. So we're going to put these plugs in. We're going to use medium Loctite. Okay, so we're going to use Loctite 243, and we're going to use a primer to help it adhere better. Okay, so I got the primer. So what we're going to do is we clean the hole, or the thread, which I've already done. Wire, brushed it out, cleaned it with brake cleaner fluid. Okay, and now what we're going to end up doing is you take the plugs, you dry them off, because it's sitting in brake cleaner fluid right now, so they stay clean. Clean them off, dry them up, put them on my rag here, hit them with the primer all the way around and let it sit. And you have up to 30 minutes before to install it. So you put the primer on this, on the plug, and you put the Loctite on the hole, and then you put them together. So let's get after it, I'll show you. So we're going to clean the plug up so that it's clean and it's dry and there's nothing on it. No brake cleaner fluid, no nothing. Nice and dry. Then we're going to take the primer and we're going to prime it. And that's nice. Okay, so as that's being primed, now we'll go over to the crankshaft and we'll put the thread locker in. All right, so now we're gonna put the thread locker in. And you want to make not a lot, because you don't want a lot of thread locker. You don't want to put a lot in. You don't want it going down into the crank itself. Then you take the primered and you install it. And once the primer hits it, you have about 30 seconds till it starts to bind. You can feel it already. And that's it there. Okay, so recapping, all a primer does is it helps the thread locker set up quicker. And it does a great job on that. So this here is now, the plug is in and it won't leak. Okay, to prep the crankshaft for installation, we need to put engine assembly lube on the bearings. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting engine assembly lube on the bearings, and then we will install the crank. here is I'll put as much on here, but I'll put this engine assembly lube around the race as well.